The first Muslim councillor elected in Limerick, Ireland, wants Dublin protesters shot in the head or beaten in the public square until they die. Azad Taluqdar, who is originally from Bangladesh, has since walked back those comments after the Labour Party councillor reminded him that you can't call for people to be shot in the head while in council. But that's kind of a muted response, don't you think? This guy wants to kill Irish people for being mad that yet another Muslim immigrant who was supposed to be deported ages ago from their country was allowed to stay, therefore giving him the opportunity to go on a mass stabbing attack against small Irish children outside of a Gaelic school. Try as they might, they can't fool people into thinking these are just one-off random crimes instead of being part of a seismic clash in cultures, Islam versus the Christian West. Parts of Europe that have been safe for decades are now turning into rape capitals, are developing no-go zones, and have terror attacks and other serious crimes that didn't happen on this scale until the refugee crisis happened. That other deadly mass stabbing that recently happened in France likewise had eyewitnesses saying they heard the migrant perpetrators yelling about white people during the attack. Over in Germany, a contentious trial just ended in the case of 9 migrants gang raping a 15-year-old girl in a Hamburg city park. Only one of the rapists is getting any prison time, and that sentence is only 2.5 years. Just as an aside, there is a reason why Western governments warn their citizens not to travel to certain countries, because of the threat of robbery, rape, murder, and kidnapping are all really high in some places, more so than in others. Duh. To paraphrase President Trump, when it comes to the illegal immigrants here, who's doing the raping? It's the young fighting age men of those countries, the same demographic our governments are bringing in by the millions and telling them not to assimilate and to instead take over and to hate the current culture we have because it's all evil and racist anyway. It needs to be destroyed and supplanted and replaced. But again, if you complain about it, Ireland has some new hate speech laws that will make it illegal for you to even joke with your friends about what's going on. Just look at how some spray paint in Belfast saying Irish lives matter is being treated as a hate incident. And former UFC champ Conor McGregor is reportedly also under investigation for sympathizing with the pain of the Dublin rioters in their mostly peaceful protest. But do you think Mr. Taluqdar, who wants them all shot in the head, summarily executed extrajudicially, is going to have any serious investigation for hate speech violations? I wouldn't hold my breath. They might do some slap on the wrist to not make their one-sided ideology seem quite so obvious, but that's about it. Just thinking back to a few years ago, all social media would have been on board with the same version of outlawing the hate crime of noticing. But of course, Twitter, now X, was successfully bought by billionaire Elon Musk, despite the massive outrage perpetrated against him by the national security state. One of the latest attacks appears to have been spearheaded by Media Matters, with allegations they used phony manipulated accounts to scare away big advertisers and their dollars from X over claims their ads were being shown next to white supremacist posts. Obviously, the idea was either to break Elon financially or to break him mentally and to get him to acquiesce with the far left's demands. But yesterday at the New York Times Deal Book Summit, Musk threw down the gauntlet. Take a listen.
There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself.
But
go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
And notice how he called out Disney CEO Bob Iger there at the end. And then he went on to call out their obsession with looking like they're doing good while actually doing evil instead.
Tesla has done more to help the environment than all other companies combined. It would be fair to say that, therefore, as a leader of the company, I've done more for the environment than everyone else, any single human on Earth.
how do you feel about that?
How do I feel about that?
Yeah, no, I'm asking you personally how you feel about that, because we're talking about power and influence and...
I'm saying what I care about is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. F*** them. Okay?
No one's safe from Elon.